Hey, welcome back, folks. Tonight is just going to be a quick stream going over how I managed this Iron Jimmy project, going from versioning and releases and tracking issues and to-dos, all that whole flow. But before I get going there, I wanted to share some really cool stuff that has been happening lately on Twitter. This week at work at Adobe, I was kind of struggling convincing my team that context was the right way to go versus Redux to manage state in a 3-step wizard form. And so I threw up this tweet right here, just talking about how do I measure performance, context versus Redux, and reduce re-renders and all this stuff. And I added a couple people, Dan Abramow, Brian Florence, and Ken Dodds. And, awesomely enough, they responded and had a conversation with me and engaged with me and helped me understand the problem and gave me some strategies on how to communicate that to my team. And I think it was so sick. One of the best comments here was Ryan Florence, dropping knowledge. Have you actually profiled the interactions? And yes, surprisingly enough, I did today, and context was faster. Faster re-render and commit times. And then I loved this tweet right here as well. Tell your coworkers that Ryan and I, and Dan probably, say that you shouldn't worry about it until it's a problem, and it probably won't be. And if it becomes one, you don't need Redux. And I love that because these are the folks that I know my team really looks up to, and so do I, who are very knowledgeable about the subject. And so to be able to share this with my team, or when I get to share this with my team, I'll be very proud that I took place in this conversation. I'm still the new guy. I don't want to step on too many toes. I know I'm kind of, I don't want to seem like I'm jamming this down everybody's throats, but I really think context is the right solution. And I just want to convince everybody as well. So really, really cool that everybody kind of hopped in and talked about this. Where was my... there was another favorite tweet. Right here. I actually retweeted this. Ryan Florence says, re-rendering isn't a performance problem. Slow renders are. And he actually talked about React might call your render function multiple times just to compare diffs in the virtual DOM before it actually commits the changes to the real DOM. So number of renders isn't a problem. It's reducing expensive calculations during the render process, if that makes sense. Anyways, that happened just the other day, and I was super excited about it, that I got to talk to some of my favorite people on Twitter. I thought something else interesting happened, but I can't remember. Oh yeah. After I got a bunch of new followers, I put up a tweet saying, "Hey, welcome everybody. Whoever wants stickers, just let me know and I'll send you some." And somebody responded, and I sent them stickers, and they here we go, right here, and they got them. This person's name is Kaylee, and she lives in Canada, and that's pretty cool. So if anybody else wants stickers, let me know. I'll send them your way. All right, all awesome stuff going on. Okay, so now to get to the point of this video, how did I do project management in Iron Jimmy? So what I did was, in order to track to-dos and things like that, I filed GitHub issues. Tons of issues, 65, and a lot of these were just to-dos, and then some of them were specific to like different feedback rounds. So in order to get like a more crisp understanding, I'll show you my labels. So here are my labels. The way this worked is I went through 3 feedback backgrounds after I was code complete. And so everything that came from feedback, that was an action item on me to go change. I gave it a feedback label, as well as round 1, round 2, or round 3. So because I had 3 feedback rounds. Exploration is for things that are like kind of unknown, and handoff specifically is for basically just transferring the site from my ownership or my development to my client. So there are some things that we had to change, like maybe some Google Analytics tags or things like that while transferring it over, or like Contentful or Shopify API keys that need to change as I handed it off to them. And then launch just kind of had to do with changing the domain name and things like that. So those are the different issue labels. And the way I did this was I associated everything with milestones. So I have tried GitHub projects, but it's kind of weird. I chose not to go with it. So essentially milestones are just collections of issues. So here's how I did it. First, I developed on a version, let's see if I even released it. 5 releases. I did not. Okay. So first I developed on a version 0.0.1, just not ready to release at all. Just totally in development. And as I got feature complete, I bumped the version to version 1.0.0-feedback.0. So this milestone is my feature complete milestone. I've finished all the tasks that we had agreed to, that we had planned. And so the name of this release is feature complete. The branch is feedback.0. And that makes sense, right? Because after feature complete, we're going to enter feedback, the 0th round, the first round. And it all links to this first milestone, which is feature complete. There's tons of tickets here, right? Everything I had to do to kind of just start the website. So then the next release was feedback 1. And this is all the feedback I got after feature complete. Like, I want to change this. I want to tweak this. I want to change this color, move this over. And that was the branch I used for that. And here's the milestone. Feedback round 1, it's called, and 11 closed issues, where they're all tagged with feedback because this was from feedback. We also found a bug here as well. And they're all tagged with round 1. Now moving on feedback. So we stopped at round 2. And as you can see, the branching is still following, the versioning is still following semantic versioning. So version 1.0.0. And it's the feedback, like, I don't know what you call this, like the version tag, and then the second rev of that version. And that follows this milestone, feedback round 2. And again, everything gets the feedback tag, everything gets the round 2 tag. Next off was the handoff. And this still works with semantic versioning because this starts with an F. It's lexically ordered at this point. So this is an H, this comes after. So if you were to use semver, this feedback.2 would naturally upgrade to handoff.0. So there were some tickets created specifically for the handoff right here. And things like this. You got to do Google Analytics, actually give the client the source code, set up their Netlify hosting, and some special short links. And then launch. I don't even think I made code changes here. Yeah, so I basically just transferred the domain name and that was it. And that didn't even require a code change. That was just me going into domains.google.com, switching it over. And I essentially just retagged the exact same version. Oh no, it looks like there was a commit in here. It's slightly different. That's okay, but that's kind of how I do it. I name my releases to match my milestones. launch, handoff, feedback, feature complete, and I version them appropriately. And I connect them up with a little description here. I find that to be, pretty consistent and pretty explanatory. And, I love emojis, so this just gave me a place to put a bunch of emojis. So that's it. If you guys have any questions about project management or anything like that, hit me up on my AMA or on Twitter, github.com/bradgarropy/AMA. Just file an issue and ask me a question, or on Twitter, twitter.com/bradgarropy. Thanks for joining, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.